Aldo Luna, but you can call me Wall.
And my name is Todd DeFranco, and you call me T.
Welcome to iParanormal, where we keep an eye
on the paranormal.
That's right.
Now, you know, Wall, last week's episode a little bit dry. I mean, we're talking about EVPs, the history of, not so much. But this week we're going to talk about Mrs. Squirrel, who filing for divorce to Mr. Squirrel because he was busy burying his nuts in Miss Beaver's bush.
Todd, I don't know anything about squirrel nuts, but let's just, today's show is about. Let's talk about iParanormal. Let's talk about putting an eye on ghost pictures.
I think that's a good idea because you know what? I wouldn't want to touch Miss Beaver's bush with a 1-inch pole, if you know what I mean.
Todd, listen.
Or do you? And maybe he does.
No,
I was like, oh my God, he knows. They know about my 1-inch pole.
Let's talk about ghost pictures, please.
I think that's a good idea, Wall, because you know what? A lot of investigators today are using pictures that they get from their investigation as if there's some sort of ghost or proof of a ghost, and there's a problem there.
Yeah, the internet is full of all these fake pictures, so we're going to hopefully, straighten some of these things out.
I agree. And it's important because as investigators, we want to try to go out and get genuine evidence, and it's a problem when you have to kind of sift through that sea of hoaxes or misinterpreted pictures, if you will. Now, Wall, what kind of pictures would we encounter if we're, in the field taking pictures?
Okay. So, the types of pictures that we're going to talk about is like orbs. We're going to talk about shadows.
You got a cream for that.
I wouldn't know anything about those creams.
I'm sure lotion. My bad.
Your favorite one is the
ectoplasm, or as you say, electroplasms.
That's
whatever. Same thing, right?
And the next one is everybody wants to get a full body apparition.
That would be the holy grail, wouldn't it? To have that full body apparition relevant in your investigation. Yeah. A little girl died, and her name, and there she is, and her little Red Riding Hood stuff, and stuff like that.
Let's talk about orbs.
Let's get back to that. All right, and you know what? Orbs are kind of important because a lot of pictures today are what?
Faked.
Okay, I was going for orbs, but I like it. Yes, they could be fake, but they're also orbs. And the problem with orbs is not only can they be fake, but they're usually misinterpreted because there's many normal causes of orbs. Now, so what's an orb, right? Why don't you tell me?
Well, it's round.
It is
usually round.
Nice. Now that's
see-through.
It's solved.
Yeah.
It's round.
So, Todd, what are the orbs?
Well, they come from a small town called Orb Town, and they have little orb people.
So, Todd, what is an orb?
Well, an orb is a particulate that's in the air that somehow is reflecting light back onto your camera lens. Yep, kind of like that, except it didn't flash.
I didn't even turn it on.
But what's important? Oh my God! Well, it kind of helps if you turn it on.
A lot of them are regular dust orbs. Okay.
Dust orbs.
Dust orbs, yes.
When we want a dust orb, you got to get a dust orb. You get a dust orb. Is that what you're saying? Or
yes. Well, let me keep on going.
All right.
Okay. Smoking. Smoke. Pollen.
Pollen. Is that something you put in a pipe or?
No, not the smoking kind. No. Oh. But there is people that do smoke.
Pollen. Okay.
And they do smoke.
Stunts your growth.
Yeah, and it actually when people smoke, there's little
mosquitoes. And now, Inner Voices by Michael Weinreich.
How come the forests aren't littered with ghosts of animals? I mean, I've never heard a story about a person going camping and being mauled by a ghost bear. I don't think I've ever seen a ghost bear.
But the big ones are just mostly particulates that are in the air. And they can be moisture, any kind of precipitation, could be rain, snow, fog, you name it. Anything like that, will produce an orb.
Now, Todd, tell me about the science behind the orbs.
Well, unfortunately, this is something you're going to like to hear. In fact, a lot of people have already debunked them. But I have a problem with that. I think they might have debunked the normal causes, but that still doesn't rule out the fact that if spirits are energy, it's very possible they can create an orb when they're moving.
Yeah, well, you know what? When people were still using the 35mm films on their cameras, they had, they didn't have very many orbs until the digital camera came out. Voila, a lot of orbs came out.
And that's very true. Now that could be something to do with the camera hardware and software itself.
That's very sciencey.
It is. And you've got to keep in mind also, we don't need a flash for an orb to appear. In fact, any kind of light source behind it or in your environment can also cause the appearance of an orb. These things are created because there's a reflective solid airborne particle, such as
dust.
You got it. And it's situated, guess where? Far away?
No, real close to the lens.
Yes. In fact, it's right in front of the lens. And it's just outside of the depth of field. Kind of like your knowledge. Okay, that was for me. Thank you. Well, in optics, particularly film and photography, the depth of field, or DOF, is the distance in front of and beyond the subject that appears to be in focus. In other words, the orb is actually out of focus, but the reflection is in focus. So you actually see the orb even though it's not there.
That's why you get those big, large orbs in front of your lens.
That's right. Now, a liquid orb is probably the same way. It's formed because it's most often, or what? What can a liquid orb be?
Like rain or snowflakes.
That's right, snowflake. You're my snowflake. Okay.
Thank you.
Anyways, it's situated again near the camera lens and out of the depth of field, and the same kind of thing as you have with the solid orbs.
But T, we believe in real orbs.
I believe that they probably do exist. But whether they do or not, I don't know. However, there are some things when you're looking at orb pictures that might make them stand out from fake ones.
Right, and some of the things they do is they're emitting their own light. They're easy to see, and they're usually solid and white, yellows and light blues. Well, fake orbs, I guess everybody sees them on the internet and everything else. But they tend to look like if you're looking into a microscope.
Does anybody got a spare orb so I can look at it? Hold on a second. Oh, wait. It's my orb detector. It's really it goes for small things. Wal, I think it's time to take a look at some orb pictures. Unfortunately, I think they're down in the basement.
No problem. Let's just take the escalator.
Good idea. Wal, there's a paranormal group out there called Midnight Walkers Paranormal Research Society, and they did some wonderful experiments on these orbs. Now, what we're going to show right here is a collection of different types of gray orbs.
They're beautiful. They look
pretty
great.
Interesting. In fact, these are probably rain, moisture drops,
snowflakes,
dust, definitely snowflake, all kinds of little particulates in the air, and these are sort of the colors. Not just the colors, but the shapes and the brightness of the different orbs you're going to get. Now here they also collected different types of orbs that were different colors. As you can see, there's pink, there's yellows, there's blues. You name it, you pretty much can see it here.
These are amazing photos.
They are. Now here's the one that probably shouldn't really be confused with an orb, but these are orbs created by bugs. And as you can see, there's probably a good 50 different types of bug orbs that they picked up.
Look at the little buggies.
I know, they're pretty. Now, in this photo, you can see there's a dust orb. Now, this is when we were in Armagosa. And any place that you go, when you're just walking around, if it's old, even if it's new, you're going to kick up dust particles. And when you take your picture, your flash is going to pick up that dust particle, and that's what you're going to see. It's
amazing, too. It looks very big.
That's what she said, but hey, I'm not complaining. All right, this photo also has some orbs in it, just to give you another idea. And this one also, you can see these big old orbs, and all those really are just little dust particles that are somehow in front of your lens.
They look blue.
Right. Now, another problem when you have orbs, if you kind of look in them, a lot of people can see faces, or they can see different things in them, or,
Matrix. What do you call it? Matrixing?
No, it's called matrixing, but I like your, it was a good try.
Thank
Anyways,
you.
As you can see in this picture, it kind of looks like, depending how you look at it, if you look in the general sense, it's a smiley face.
I see the smiley face.
But if you're really looking closely, you can look on the right, it looks like a lady's face, and next to her is an old man, and more interestingly, below them is a cat, which is actually relevant for the place as a cat did die. These are your pictures.
Yeah, now these are the pictures that everybody catches. These are regular dust orbs. It could be moisture. I believe that.
Looking at that, I think that's a pollen.
Yeah,
I
it
think
could be pollen.
Yeah, could be. But what is it? It's not a ghost.
Yeah. Now here, these are the normal pictures. I mean, these are the pictures I took in my back house.
Sure.
Now the wind was blowing here, and I just happened to be taking pictures. I wanted to see if I can catch all these dust.
Okay, now here's another interesting picture that you can get. It's an ectoplasm. What exactly is that?
Okay, well, in the late 1900s, here in America, we had a big boom of these psychics and mediums. Not those kind of booms.
Oh.
but they wanted to contact their dead loved ones, so they would go and see somebody who was psychic or a medium, and these mediums would actually manifest this goo coming out of their mouths,
wow.
their ears,
That's
their
disgusting.
eyes. It's very disgusting.
Wow.
I even heard of a woman whose vagina,
Vagina? Do that again.
Yeah.
Vagina?
vagina.
Okay, well.
Vagina. But this stuff
Anyways.
actually came out.
Okay, so but what kind of things that are normal that may give you the appearance of some kind of ectoplasm?
Well, people who smoke at night, and you don't see them, you don't recognize they're smoking. You might take a picture of that. When it's a little cold, when you're actually holding your camera up and not holding your breath, when you take a picture, you got this hog-like looking substance in front of you.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, just to be clear, an ectoplasm could look like a streak of light, or it's like something is forming.
Yes.
Like here comes the spirit.
It's manifesting.
I'm coming right now.
Right.
Okay, you didn't hear that from me. All right, moving on. Now, this picture here was interesting because I was in Armagosa one day, and I took a picture.
This is your photo.
In the dark, and suddenly I got this amazing thing on my camera. I thought, oh my God, I found an ectoplasm. I mean, there it is streaking through the sky or in the room, and I was so excited, and I brought it over to my partner, and she looked at it and she said, you know what? It's a lens trap.
It is.
Now, Wally, one of the things a lot of people see on the corner of their eyes are shadows, and they also catch pictures with these black shadows or something in them. What the heck are those?
Yeah, well, I believe that there's actual shadow people out there.
Really?
Yes.
Are they this big? Or?
No, they're fairly big.
Oh.
The entity out there tends to be like a trickster. But there are pictures that are out there that people mistake.
For one of those creatures. In
Right.
fact, it's probably something really normal.
Right. Well, that's why we always, you and I agree on this. When we go on investigations, you take more than one picture of the same
Absolutely.
location.
And in fact, we have a picture where somebody's head is in front of the lens, and what did it do? It made an interesting shadow.
Yeah.
Which one took us a little bit to debunk.
That's right. That's me in the front, and then there's behind me there's a big giant mirror. But in front of me, there's a lady who is one of our investigators, and somebody actually takes a picture, and it's almost way in the back next to the mirror. There's this black shadow in the back.
Interesting. Well, all right, let's get to the final category here, apparitions. Now, this is the holy grail.
An apparition, a full body apparition.
What are some of the causes?
Well, reflections, lights, camera straps, the shutter speed. I think you know about those things.
Well, yeah, we did talk about the shutter speed. Typically, it goes a third of a second when the camera snaps. Now, if you set it to 5 seconds or 10 seconds, if the person taking the picture or the person you're taking a picture of moves, it's going to give you a false apparition.
Yeah.
All right, now this picture is interesting, and I'll tell you why. I took this picture back in Armagosa Valley when we were at the Armagosa Opera House. Well, we were in one of these abandoned buildings, and in one of those windows, well, something appeared. And now if you look very closely towards the left bottom of the picture, it kind of looks like something's standing there. And now, what's interesting to me about this picture is that glass is broken, and the head of that figure is where there's no glass, so it couldn't be a reflection.
It's very convincing, but I think this is just, for me, it could be just wear and tear on the window.
And you think it might be another form of matrixing?
Yes.
I think you could be correct. Okay, now we're at the end of their show here. Pictures as evidence. How would you look at it?
They're not very reliable at all.
There are good people out there taking pictures and hoping to find that holy grail, and unfortunately, because it's some of these normal things they're not aware of, they kind of misinterpret what they have. And in fact, I might even say, now you'd say 95%, I'm going to go as far as 99% of the pictures you get are just normal stuff, either hoaxed or misinterpreted.
I'm the believer. So this is the end of our tubecast on the episode on ghost pictures. So thank you for joining us on Paranormal.
And remember, a lie can travel halfway around the world while the truth is still putting on its shoes. And that was from Mr. Mark Twain.
I'm Walt.
And I'm T.
Thank you for joining us on Paranormal, where we keep an eye
on the paranormal.